Kano wins, you beauty.
Flawless victory.
Your soul is mine.
Finish him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Dork Entertainment. We've got a very special video review for you today. Mortal Kombat. It's finally out.
Mortal Kombat.
I've got Samit here with me. I've got Daniel Dog and David here with us. So we got a chance to watch this movie over the last couple of days, and we're going to give you our review and what we thought of the movie. So yeah.
Yeah. Hell yes.
We got a lot to say.
Lots to say. Before we move further with the review, of course, there will be spoilers in this review. So spoiler warning.
I mean, a lot of our reviews are spoiler reviews.
And also, thank you so much for all of your support. We do appreciate it. Please like the video, share it if you can, and subscribe to this channel because we do appreciate all of your support. So yeah, let's get right into it, shall we? Mortal Kombat, finally out. We've been looking forward to this for a long, long time.
A very long time.
Very long time.
Been looking forward to the video games, I guess, and since the old movies as well.
Since the disaster that was Annihilation, we've been looking forward to another Mortal Kombat movie that would fix that problem. So this movie was released in the cinemas here in Australia, and America also released on HBO Max recently. So what we'll do is we'll just go around before we get into the discussion a bit. We'll just give our scores of the movie and why we thought we scored it that much. So I'll start. I reckon this movie was a 7 out of 10 for me. So,
7 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. It was good. I enjoyed it. I thought that it felt like a lead-up movie, so a lead-up to the main movie, which is going to come. Of course, if this is a success, we're going to get a main Mortal Kombat tournament movie, later on down the track. But for what it was, I thought it was great. I thought introduction of the characters. I thought the characters played their roles really well. Even the CGI was pretty good, I got to say. And yeah, some of the acting was really good too. So 7 out of 10 for me. It was a good movie. And it's worth a watch.
Yeah, it's hard to sometimes take out the MK fan in you when you're watching this, but yeah, if you're a cinema fan, if you're just if you don't know much about MK, you probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as us. But I think for me, being a Mortal Kombat fan, it added another point to the review for me. So for me, it's an 8 out of 10. It was Mortal Kombat finally realized on the big screen, I think, in a big way, and we'll talk about a lot of the gore and the style of it all. But for me, it's 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It was a fun time at the cinemas. I think that's the most important thing. We can nitpick things like story and characters and all that, but for me, it's the fun that you get from watching it. I was at one point cheering in the cinema, so I haven't done that in a while. So 8 out of 10 for me. It's just a really fun time.
8 out of 10. So Daniel, what do you think?
Pretty much same as Samit. Being a Mortal Kombat fan, recent Mortal Kombat fan, I gotta say this film, it did everything right. It did everything right, and there were you can do little nitpicks here and there, but all in all, I think this movie, for a prequel for the actual tournament to happen, I liked it. So I'll give this movie also an 8 out of 10.
Alright, 8 out of 10, so pretty high scores there. David, what did you think?
So I'm a little bit different to these guys, where I am actually not a Mortal Kombat fan. I've hardly played any of the games. I don't know much about the characters. So I went into it as a movie fan. And I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. It was a video game movie, so there was that. But it was just it was just a fun movie to watch. So solid 8 out of 10, yeah.
8 out of 10, okay. So 3 8 out of 10s and 1 7 out of 10 for me. Okay. So let's get into the discussion, shall we? So first of all, the story. Now, I can't help, because I'm also a fan of Mortal Kombat. I can't help but compare it to, of course, the original movie that we got in the 90s.
95. Yeah.
95. Now, whereas that 95 movie was about the Mortal Kombat tournament, This is actually more of a lead up to the Mortal Kombat tournament.
Yeah.
So Shang Tsung does a few tricks there before the tournament, which he tries to eliminate the enemy or the opponents. So that's what it's mainly about, and I guess it serves its purpose as introducing some of the characters again and introducing a new one as well.
Yeah.
So I think it works in that sense. It's sort of like you could sort of when you watch it, you think this is part of a bigger movie universe, and we're going to get that big movie down the track. So this is like a build-up movie to that, I feel. What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely feels like it's a lot of people said it's like an extended first act of a movie, which probably it's fair criticism. But I think the problem with that is like the Mortal Kombat games, they've all sort of moved past the actual tournament itself. If you're looking at the tournament itself, you're just trying to recreate the first movie, which I don't think is a smart move. You don't want to try to recreate the first movie. You want to try to create your own movie in this. So I think that's what the director sort of has succeeded in, that sort of fact where he's creating a new world. He's creating something completely different from the old movie, and he's got his own sort of, I guess, lore in a way. With the Akata, you got the
finding your Akata,
like getting that to unleash your power basically, and that's an interesting way of sort of changing the lore a little bit, which is okay. Movies can do that. But for me as an MK fan, I really loved the teasers. There's a Kotal Khan tease, there's a Nightwolf tease. And that was there, and it was an interesting. There was even a little Eddie Tobias name drop.
Yes, Tobias.
Tobias.
Yeah. So all those little things were really good. But for me, the story is simple. It's just it's not the tournament. There is supposed to be a tournament, and it's leading up to it. But it's Shang Tsung trying to defeat a lot of Earth Realms fighters before the tournament. And
I guess it's interesting how because they have to. Of course, they can't just redo the last movie. They've added little intricacies in there in terms of how these fighters are selected with the tattoos or birthmarks that they have, and they're born with. Yeah, born with the birthmarks, right? That was something really cool as well. I sort of picked up, and the Arcada business. They've got to do something to refresh the franchise.
Definitely.
So what did you reckon, David? Did you think that have you seen the previous Mortal Kombat?
No.
Okay.
So we know what's going.
I had no clue walking into the cinema what I was in for. So but it was
it was a very basic story from.
It wasn't you knew what the story was, and they just kind of got that out of the way. And it was like, as soon as the story was one of the weaker parts of the movie, but as soon as they got to the action, the fight, that was easily the strongest part of the movie, and you could tell the people who made this movie really do care about Mortal Kombat.
And that's what I really like about the film, is that it knows its fans. It really is playing to them, and it's really it's a love letter to fans with the way that they've done the fatalities, the gore, which is insane at one point.
It's R-rated.
It's R-rated. But it's very Mortal Kombat. It fits it like that. That's its style. That's been its style in the games. So it's a very Mortal Kombat style, and I think they've executed it pretty well.
And it also has the right level of cheesiness as well. In the movie, they say the lines, get over here and finish him, flawless victory, and all that. So
that was the best part of the movie, when it was like flawless victory.
Yeah.
All right. As an Aussie though, gotta say, Kano steals this movie.
He steals the show. Some of the scenes.
Right.
All I can say about Kano.
Our cinema was in fits, basically.
They're in fits every time he talked.
Every time he opened his mouth, he was just making everyone laugh, and he had some of the best lines in the movie. And
when he was chasing Liu Kang, and he's like, "Oh, David Copperfield."
But it's just
And he calls Raiden, I think, Gandalf or
yeah,
something.
Gandalf
Yeah.
or something, one way,
He's
yeah.
like, "Oh, Gandalf, what do you got for me?"
But that's the thing. Like with Aussie humor, sometimes it's hard to capture, but they've done it very well here.
Yeah.
They've
And
done
I
it
can
very
sort of
well.
understand why, because Johnny Cage is not in this movie
Yeah.
from the games. I
Yeah.
can understand why now, because it would have been pretty much like Kano.
It would have been too much, and that's what the director said before the movie in an interview. He said we would have loved to include Johnny Cage. It's just it would have been too much,
Too much cheese.
too much
Yeah.
of the same sort of thing, too much the same humor.
Yeah, yeah.
Not cheese. It was like too much of the same humor, basically. Like if Johnny Cage is very loud and all that, and Kano's very
Kano.
loud, it wouldn't be too much of it. And I think it's just the right amount.
Yeah.
I was a bit scared because like he's basically calling all these people out like in a parody sort of way.
Yeah.
I thought it was very close to like, not being serious, but they've just balanced it pretty well. I think.
Yeah.
And that's the interesting thing, like, with the amount of characters in the game, you can't have all of the characters in the movie. So
No.
we saw that in Annihilation. There was probably too many characters in that.
Yeah, way too much.
And there was no character development. There was no way to sort of make you actually care for the character. So I think they got the right balance in here. And I mean, looking on to other movies, if they do come across, if this is a success, we're going to get more characters coming into those movies as well.
Yeah, and just like even like they know the franchise. Like I can tell, like whoever's worked behind the scenes on this, they know the franchise. And it's James Wan has produced it, so he must be a big fan of it, and the director as well. So like they know the lore. They as far as reference, Kotal Khan, is a
Kotal Khan
is a recent character,
Mm.
but he's like he's not. If you're a classic MK fan, you don't
You don't really
that
know,
much.
yeah.
But still, it's a big
Katana.
yeah.
The fans
Katana,
were there.
yeah. So there's little hints here, and but it tells me that the team behind it really have a love for the franchise and the lore of it all. So that's good to know.
For me, one of the Easter eggs that that caught my eye was Shinnok's amulet,
Oh,
which Kano tried to sweep, and Liu Kang was like, "Put that back."
put that back.
Yeah. So that was
interesting. And the mention of Bo Rai Cho as well.
yeah, Bo Rai Cho, the statue of Bo Rai
Yes,
Cho.
the famous infamous drunk fighter.
Yeah,
And I don't know if you guys noticed, Kitana's fan was in there as well in one of the scenes.
Yes.
yeah,
So, I thought Kitana was going to be in this movie.
and also
Phones off, please. And
Oh my god.
yeah. So David, while I got you there on the phone there, so what's your final thoughts? Give us your final thoughts of this movie. What, overall.
I can't wait for the next one. I thought this was just, you know what?
Please
Because
make
just
another
before, just before I had watched Nobody, and there was like a lot of violence in that, and then we'll just watch this. So I really, really can't wait for the next movie. It was a really good movie.
Yeah.
I
Daniel?
do have some. There are some criticisms about the movie that I do have. Like for instance, they did my boy Kung Lao incredibly dirty by killing him off, unfortunately. But at the same time, that's obviously gonna set up the whole Liu Kang Shang Tsung rivalry. But why Kung Lao?
Kung Lao's such a good character. Rufio, bro. What's up?
Yeah.
So I
was gonna say that Kung Lao was to me like Kano. Kung Lao was my favorite. Like he played the role really
So
well. And if you know the story, Kung Lao gets his soul taken by
Yeah.
Shang Tsung from previous. Anyway, so this was gonna happen.
So he dies a lot, and I think in the rebooted timeline, Shao Kahn just snaps his neck.
Well,
But
they're the actor Rufio.
Yeah, and it was Rufio from Hook. Guys,
right.
if you've seen Hook, if you remember Rufio,
Rufio.
he's Kung Lao.
there's Kung Lao. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. That was crazy.
Yeah. Raiden, I felt like he was a bit too. I don't know. I did like the actor that played Raiden. I really like him, but
Yeah.
I felt like he just didn't. I don't know. Like
I thought he captured it at the end. It was like, this guy talks too much.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that's a little bit of not the Raiden. Yeah,
it's not the Raiden that we.
Christopher Lambert that we've seen
Oh, yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Like that, he's played it so well. It's etched in our memories.
Yeah.
You will be
So-
the champion of Mortal Kombat. That's my impression of him. But yeah, like for instance, like when when they all finally come to visit Raiden, the first thing he says is, these are the champions. It's like, but didn't you pick them? But whatever. Another thing was, it felt like Sub-Zero was the big bad. He was the main big bad of this film, and you know, I felt like everyone, like all the other big bads, were kind of just like henchmen.
Yeah, well, Shang Tsung is, you know, is a, like in the lore, is a bigger bad than Sub-Zero, but yeah, he was sort of sidelined, I felt. As well.
Like
Well, when you look at it from Shang Tsung's view, like he uses Sub-Zero as a henchman.
Yeah.
But Sub-Zero is such a badass. There's so many good scenes
Oh,
in this movie.
What's the actor's name?
Joe Taslim, I think?
Yeah.
He looks so good in this, and
Just intimidating.
very intimidating. He really captures Sub-Zero as
He's
a
got a
character.
5-movie contract.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
if
so-
it goes well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this one goes well,
And-
which I think it is. Box office, early box office
It looks, yeah.
collections are saying it's doing pretty good, and you know, we went to it as a packed cinema, so
Yeah.
hopefully there's more.
Is that your final thought? What's your final thought on the whole movie and moving forward?
Yeah, give me a score. Or,
And just a general like summary of.
it's just I think it's a good start, and it'll be interesting to see how this expands. Do we see maybe TV shows on HBO Max that sort of expand the lore, expand the characters? The way I see it, if that whole four picture deal is real, what it's saying, I could see them delaying that tournament to be like a Avengers style, if they're smart, an Avengers style movie, where if they can do like little side stories on HBO Max, like maybe like a Kung Lao Liu Kang prequel series, where they just follow their adventures, and then you could follow someone else, like maybe Cole Young has his own, and then they meet up, all of them meet up in this big event, I guess, of Mortal Kombat, the tournament. So that's an interesting way that they can build a franchise, but we'll just have to see how successful this one is, I guess. So
Yeah, and
all
from
hopes.
from the looks of things, it is going to be quite successful.
Successful, yeah.
About as successful you can be during the pandemic,
During
but
the pandemic.
it's interesting times though.
Sonny, your final thoughts?
Yeah, look, I thought it was a really good movie, and there's a lot of potential to build on what they've made here. So in that sense, it's a success for Warner Brothers, and I just feel like we're going to get some more movies, and they're going to be awesome as well. So good start. They've introduced about how many? Maybe you could say maybe 8 to 10 characters in a roster of Mortal Kombat. There's like 30, like even
There's
more.
so many.
That's what I'm
many,
saying.
yeah.
Like something like a HBO Max can help with that, right?
Yeah.
If you're having 30 characters, it's hard to put that in a 2-hour format. You really want them to have their own sort of journeys, and then they meet in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I reckon the miniseries could work really well as well for Mortal
definitely.
Kombat.
It really could.
We had the what was it, Legacy? You remember the short stories?
Kombat
That was
Legacy,
really good. So I reckon something like that could work. But
Yeah.
look, I'm really looking forward to the rest of the Mortal Kombat franchise that's going to come ahead. I really enjoyed this movie. Thank you so much. James Wan for bringing this forward with producing this.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time and not disappointed. So get out there if you can to a cinema, check it out. Please, of course, like this video, share it if you can. Please comment down below what you thought of the movie and what you think of our review. And we shall see you in the next one. Peace.